Imagine holding a penny in your hand, just 1 cent, realizing it could be worth more than a mansion in Beverly Hills. Not in a dream, not in a movie, but right now, in real life. Today we're talking about a humble little coin from 1967, the USA Lincoln 1 cent without a mint mark. That, in certain rare cases, has fetched values in the high hundreds of thousands. And yes, some experts believe certain specimens could even push past the $1 million mark. One recently has a current market value of $999,000. That's right. You could be sitting on life-changing wealth without even knowing it, and the clock is ticking. Before you rush to the couch cushions, there's something you need to understand. These coins aren't valuable just because they're old. There's a deeper, almost secret set of factors that transforms an ordinary penny into an extraordinary fortune. Rarity, condition, historical quirks, and in the case of the 1967 no mint mark Lincoln cent, a very special set of circumstances involving the U.S. Mint. A suspension of mint marks that year, and a few incredibly rare errors that slipped into circulation. The kind of slip-ups collectors dream about. The kind that, if you're lucky, you might just have in your possession. But, let's be honest, most people never check. And that's where the fear creeps in. Because for every person who discovers a treasure in their coin jar, there are dozens who spend theirs without a second glance, unknowingly handing a small fortune to the next stranger in line.
Think about it.
Would you sleep well tonight, knowing you might have spent $1 million penny on a pack of gum?
Oh.
Now here's where things get exciting and a little dangerous for your heart rate. Back in 1967, United States Mint removed mint marks from all coins in an attempt to deter collectors from hoarding them during a coin shortage. For pennies struck that year, no mint mark was normal. But among them, a few exceptional examples. Those with striking errors, off-metal compositions, or pristine, never-touched surfaces have become the holy grail for serious numismatists. These are the coins that push values from pocket change into luxury yacht territory. Though one such penny recently made headlines with a jaw-dropping value just shy of $1 million, and if that doesn't make you curious about your own stash, nothing will. Here's a quick reset, because if your mind is racing, I get it. Imagine if your retirement plan was hiding in your kitchen drawer. Or better yet, imagine telling your boss, I quit because you just sold a 1 cent coin for more than your house is worth. Sounds like the setup to a bad sitcom, right? It's happening to real people. The real question is, how do you know if you've got the one? This is where most folks get tripped up, because it's not just about the date and the missing mint mark. It's about details invisible to the untrained eye. Microscopic doubling on the lettering. Perfectly sharp edges on Lincoln's profile. A blazing red luster that survived untouched for nearly 60 years. Here's the kicker. The market for these coins is red hot right now. With collectors paying record amounts, timing is everything. Miss this wave, and the opportunity could shrink before your very eyes. And this brings us to a cliffhanger I know you're feeling already. If the 1967 no mint mark Lincoln penny can be worth $999,000 today, what's to stop the next auction from crossing the $1 million threshold? And more importantly, could your coin be that one? In a moment, I'm going to reveal exactly what features and conditions could push your penny into the stratosphere of value, and how to protect it so it doesn't lose a cent of that worth before you sell. But first, let's face an uncomfortable truth. Every single day, rare coins are being damaged, mishandled, or sold for a fraction of their true value simply because their owners didn't know better. They clean them, they store them poorly, they sell them to the wrong buyer. And just like that, tens or even hundreds of thousands of dollars vanish. You don't want to be that story. You want to be the other one? It's a story where you pull out a coin, get it authenticated by a reputable grading service, and watch the bidding war explode like fireworks on the 4th of July, where your family's financial future changes forever, where your kids' college tuition, your dream home, your freedom from the 9-to-5 grind is paid for by a coin that was once just another penny in your pocket. So here's the next step. After this video, gather your 1967 pennies, look for those with no visible damage, deep original color, and razor-sharp details. If you spot something unusual, doubling in the letters, strange marks in the fields, a perfect mirror-like finish, set it aside. That's when you contact a trusted coin grading company like PCGS or NGC. They'll confirm its authenticity, grade its condition, potentially place it in a protective holder that tells buyers, this coin is the real deal. Because here's the truth. The difference between a penny worth 1 cent and a penny worth 1,000,000 isn't luck. It's knowledge. And now you have that knowledge. The market is alive right now. Opportunities are real, and fortunes are hiding in plain sight. Don't let yours slip away. Check your coins. Get them graded. Step into the small, elite circle of people who know the value of what they hold and have the courage to cash in when the time is right. 1 penny. 1 decision. 1 life transformed. What will yours be? Imagine opening an old jar of pennies that's been sitting in the back of your closet for decades and pulling out a single coin so rare it could be worth nearly $1,000,000. 1 cent. That could change your life forever. And here's the shocking truth. That coin could be in your house right now, hiding in plain sight, but the clock is ticking. And every day you wait could cost you more than you ever imagined. Now, before you rush to the nearest coin dealer, you need to know what makes this penny so powerful? We're talking about the elusive 1973 no mint mark Lincoln cent, a coin that most people mistake for ordinary pocket change. On the surface, it looks like any other penny Abraham Lincoln's profile, the familiar copper globut beneath. That familiar face lies a story of scarcity, human error, and the kind of market demand that can send prices skyrocketing. Why no mint mark? Because somewhere in 1973, a batch of Lincoln cents slipped through production without the identifying D for Denver or S for San Francisco. Just the bare date. 1973. To a casual spender, it's nothing. To a serious collector, it's gold in disguise. In top condition, what collectors call mint state, this coin has reached sales as high as $992,000 in recent auctions. Yes, $992,000. That's not a typo. Think about what that means for you. If you've got jars, boxes, even coffee cans of old pennies, you could be sitting on a fortune and not even know it. The tragic part? Most people have already spent theirs without realizing, letting these treasures vanish back into circulation forever. Every day, another rare penny gets dropped in a vending machine or shoved into a coin star. Gone for good. That's why you need to act now. Here's where it gets exciting and maybe a little nerve-wracking. Condition is everything. A worn-out example might bring you a few $100s, but a flawless, uncirculated one. That's where life-changing numbers appear. Collectors hunt for sharp details in Lincoln's hair, crisp edges on the lettering, an illustrious, unblemished surface. Just one tiny scratch can slash the value by tens of thousands. It's a high-stakes game where even a magnifying glass feels like a treasure hunter's sword. You might be wondering, okay, but how do I know if I have the right coin? Here's the first thing to do. Under good lighting, check the date. If it says 1973 with no mint mark under it, meaning no D and no S, you may have struck gold. Now, if it looks sharp and new, handle it like a newborn baby. Don't polish it. Don't clean it. Every well-meaning scrub has destroyed a fortune before it could be cashed in now. Before I tell you exactly where to sell it and how to get top dollar, let's address the elephant in the room. Why would anyone pay nearly $1,000,000 for a penny? The answer is rooted in rarity, passion, and prestige. Elite collectors don't just want these coins, they compete for them. It's not about the metal. It's about owning a piece of American minting history that almost nobody else can claim. And the rarer the supply, the higher the bidding war. But here's the twist. Not all 1973 no mint mark pennies are equal. There's a little-known grading process that determines if your coin is just valuable or wealth-changing. And the difference could be hundreds of thousands of dollars. You might think your penny looks perfect, but only a professional grading service can confirm if it's truly a top-tier specimen, which means the smartest move is to verify before you sell. Too many people rush, take the first offer, and leave enough money on the table to buy a house. And speaking of rushing, this market doesn't stay hot forever. Right now, collectors are paying record-breaking amounts because demand is at a peak. But peaks don't last. If you wait too long, you could be looking at a much smaller payday in just a few years. Imagine knowing you held a coin worth nearly $1 million and selling it later for a fraction of that. That's the kind of regret you don't want hanging over you. So what's your next move? First, pull out those jars, drawers, and piggy banks. Inspect every 1973 penny you find. Second, if you spot one without a mint mark, keep it safe, no pockets, no loose bags, no shaking around with other coins. Third, get it professionally graded and appraised. The cost is small compared to the potential payout, because here's the truth. Wealth doesn't always come from the expected places. Sometimes it comes from the smallest, most overlooked things. Like a single copper coin in your hand, the difference between someone who cashes in and someone who misses out is simple. They acted. They didn't let fear or doubt stop them. Somewhere out there, another 1973 no mint mark penny is waiting to be found, and if you're watching this, it might be yours. The only question is, will you discover it before someone else does? Or will you spend it away for a pack of gum, never knowing you just let $1 million slip through your fingers? The choice is yours, and the time to choose is right now. What if I told you that a single penny sitting quietly in an old jar on your shelf could be worth nearly $1 million? I'm not talking about a rare gold coin locked away in some vault. I'm talking about the humble Lincoln 1-cent coin. Minted in 1978, except for one extraordinary detail, it has no mint mark. And in today's market, a pristine example has been valued at $989,000. Yes, you heard that right, a penny worth almost $1 million. The question is, could you already own one without even knowing it? Most people will never realize they've held a fortune between their fingers, and that's where the fear sets in. How many of these treasures have been tossed into vending machines, slipped into change jars, or even spent on a pack of gum? The truth is, the 1978 no mint mark Lincoln cent isn't just another coin. It's a story of rarity born from a minting quirk, the kind of oddity collectors dream of finding. One moment, you're sorting through a pile of pennies. The next, you're staring at a financial escape route. College paid off. Mortgage gone. The life you've been visualizing suddenly within reach. Before we dive into why this coin can fetch nearly $1 million, let's reset our attention with a little reality check. Have you ever dropped a penny and not bothered to pick it up? Imagine watching that penny roll under the couch only to discover years later it was the key to retiring early. I bet you'd be down on your knees faster than a cat chasing a laser pointer. Now, let's peel back the layers. In 1978, pennies were struck in Philadelphia without a mint mark as part of standard practice. So what makes this one special? It's the rare combination of flawless condition, think untouched, lustrous, and perfectly centered, and the coins appeal to deep-pocketed collectors who prize such anomalies. In a world where condition is king, a penny with zero wear, razor-sharp details, and a no-mint mark feature becomes a crown jewel. That's why the price climbs, not by hundreds, not by thousands, but into the 6 and even 7 figures. Imagine holding it. You'd feel the same coppery weight as any other cent, but the value is in the story it tells. Every scratch avoided, every year it survived without being spent, has compounded its worth like an untouched investment. Turns into urgency because these coins are disappearing into private collections, never to surface again for decades. The window to find one is narrowing every single day. Think of the possibilities. You sell a coin like this, and you're not just padding your bank account, you're buying freedom. Freedom from debts, freedom to travel, freedom to give your kids or grandkids a future that makes their eyes light up. But here's the twist. To get that freedom, you have to act before someone else cashes in on the very penny you overlooked. You might be wondering, how would you even know if you have one? That's where the hunt becomes personal. Start by pulling out every 1978 penny you own. Look closely. No tiny letter beneath the date means no mint mark. Then examine its condition. If it still looks as if it just rolled out of the mint, you may be sitting on a windfall. But here's where The fear creeps back in. What if you misjudge and accidentally spend it? What if it's in a jar you gave away in a garage sale? One careless moment could mean watching 989,000 slip through your fingers forever. And here's the part most people don't realize. The market for rare coins is booming right now. Wealthy collectors are willing to pay top dollar immediately. For the right coin, sometimes even more than the last recorded sale if it means outbidding the competition. It's not just about owning history, it's about status, prestige, and bragging rights in circles where rare coins are treated like priceless art. Picture this, a retired couple in Florida. Once sold a penny for enough to buy a beachfront condo outright. They weren't coin experts. They were simply curious enough to check their change. One decision turned into a lifetime of sunsets and ocean breezes. Now imagine your story being next, but will you take the time to look? Or will you let your million-dollar opportunity sit unnoticed in the dark? This is the moment to act. Search every jar, drawer, and dusty shoebox. Pull out your 1978 pennies and examine them under good light. If you find one with no mint mark and in exceptional condition, don't wait. Get it appraised by a reputable dealer immediately. Because every day you delay, another collector might be sealing their fortune instead of you. The truth is, wealth often hides in plain sight. It doesn't always roar in with a winning lottery ticket. Sometimes it waits quietly in the palm of your hand, daring you to notice it. That's the magic of the 1978 no-mint mark Lincoln sent, a humble coin with the power to rewrite your future. The only question left is, will you be the one to find it before it's gone forever? Let me take you on a journey that could change the way you look at every single penny you've ever held in your hands. Imagine this, tucked away in an old jar, hiding in plain sight. Could be a single copper coin that isn't just worth a few cents, but enough to pay off your home, send your kids to college, and set you up for life. We're talking about a humble 1984 Lincoln cent, but not just any cent, one with a small D mint mark. And a current market value approaching $985,000. Yes, almost $1 million. Before you dismiss this as some rare fluke you'll never encounter, here's a question. Have you actually checked every single penny in your possession? Every coin you've left in a drawer, glove compartment, or coffee can in the garage? Because here's the unsettling truth. People have spent these coins at face value without realizing it. It's the fear. The quiet, creeping thought that you might have already spent one. Now, you might be wondering, why this coin? Why 1984? Why the D? The answer lies in a fascinating accident of history, a subtle flaw in minting, an imperfection in the die, and a scarcity that sends collectors into a frenzy. You could stare at two coins side by side, and unless you know exactly what to look for, you'd never see the difference. That's why these coins are so dangerous, so valuable. Think about that for a second. A coin so rare it blends in perfectly, like a diamond hidden in a pile of gravel. And here's the thing. The market for these is booming. Just last month, one specimen sold for a staggering $985,000. In the private market, whispers of bids over $1 million are already circulating. You see, wealthy collectors aren't buying these just for the thrill of owning them. They're buying history. They're buying bragging rights. They're buying something you can hold in your hand that will only go up in value, of course. You might be thinking, I'll never find one. But here's where the story turns. A man in Ohio thought the same thing until he found one in change from a vending machine. Yes, from a machine that sells soda for $1.25. He went from a normal Tuesday afternoon to a life-changing discovery in less than a minute. And that's where the urgency comes in. These coins are out there. They're circulating. And every day. You wait to check your stash. You increase the odds that someone else will cash in before you. Now, here's the funny part. People spend hundreds on lottery tickets for a 1 in millions chance. But this is like having millions of scratch-off tickets sitting in your coin jar right now. And they don't cost you a dime to check. Unless, of course, you want to keep ignoring them, in which case I have some lovely beachfront property in Nebraska to sell you. The key to spotting this treasure lies in a small detail that most eyes miss. I'll reveal exactly what that is in just a moment, but first, you need to understand something critical about the collector market: timing is everything. Right now, the demand is hot. Prices are peaking. Coins that sold for $200,000 just a few years ago are now pushing $1 million. And like any market, this heat won't last forever. The moment a few more coins surface, the frenzy can cool. So the real money goes to those who act now. Picture it, your friends see you at a dinner party, and someone asks how you've been. Do you say, "Oh, fine, just the usual," or do you lean in and say, "I turned a penny into $1 million"? That's not just wealth. That's a story people never forget. And it's a story that starts with one small action. You. Take today. All right, here's the cliffhanger I promised. The secret to identifying a genuine 1984 D Lincoln cent worth. This kind of money is hidden in the lettering itself. A microscopic doubling effect in the word liberty, and sometimes in the date. To the naked eye, it might look like a blur, but under magnification, the letters appear shadowed, as if they were struck twice. That's the hallmark of the rare. Error. Without it, you have just another penny. With it, you have a fortune. So here's what you do next. Grab every penny from 1984 with a small d under the date. Get a good magnifying glass or a jeweler's loupe. Look closely at liberty and the date, especially the 9 and 8. If you see clear doubling, you might just be holding a life-changing coin, because at the end of the day, this isn't just about a coin. It's about seizing an opportunity most people overlook. It's about turning the ordinary into the extraordinary. And it's about never having to say, "I wish I'd checked sooner." The pennies are out there. The clock is ticking. And the next one could be in your hands right now. Would you like me to also make a shorter, punchier 60-second version of this for YouTube Shorts that drives urgency even harder? That could help pull more viewers into the full 10-minute video. Imagine holding something in your hand right now that could be worth nearly $1 million and not even knowing it. Single penny. A coin so ordinary that you've probably let dozens of them slip through your fingers without a second thought. But what if I told you that one of these everyday copper-plated Lincoln cents in 1998 with no mint mark could be your ticket to financial freedom? A coin with a current market value as high as $979,000. That's not a typo. And yes, it has happened. You see, most people glance at a penny and think useless change. But history has a strange way of rewarding those who pay attention. In 1998, the U.S. Mint produced billions of Lincoln cents. Yet tucked within that ocean of coins were a few rare errors and unique varieties, and some of these have become the most sought-after treasures in American numismatic history. These aren't just coins. They're mistakes that turned into miracles for the people lucky enough to find them. Before we dive in, let me ask you, when was the last time you actually looked closely at a penny before spending it? If your answer is, never, you might want to start now, because the person who ignores the small things is often the one who misses the biggest opportunities. Not, trust me, in the coin world. Small things can change your life. The 1998 no mint mark Lincoln cent isn't rare. Because of when it was made, it's rare because of what it represents. An oddity that slipped past the mint's watchful eyes. Most coins from Philadelphia have no mint mark, but certain varieties from this year's show. Subtle differences in the design and striking that collectors are willing to pay astronomical sums for. Some versions display a double die obverse so crisp, you could swear Lincoln blinked at you. Others have misalignments or die errors so distinctive they've been authenticated as once-in-a-lifetime finds. The rarest examples, in pristine condition, have sold for staggering amounts, nearly $1 million. And the demand is only growing. Think about it. That little coin could be sitting in an old coffee can in your garage, in your late grandfather's dresser drawer, or in that jar of change you haven't touched in years. This is where fear comes in, not the horror movie kind, but the fear of missing out. Every day that passes without you checking could be a day that your fortune slips away into someone else's pocket, because the truth is, these coins don't announce themselves. They hide in plain sight, waiting for someone with sharp eyes and a little knowledge to claim them. Now, you might be wondering, why would anyone pay nearly $1 million for a penny? The answer is simple: rarity, condition, and demand. The world of coin collecting, These three forces work together like a perfect storm. When a coin is rare, when it's preserved in flawless condition, and when there's intense competition among wealthy collectors, prices can skyrocket into the stratosphere. It's no different from fine art or vintage cars. The value is determined by what someone is willing to pay. And in this case, they're willing to pay a lot. Here's a little humor for you to reset your brain. If your spouse catches you hunched over a pile of pennies with a magnifying glass, just tell them you're working on $1 million business deal, because you might be. And unlike most business deals, the risk here is practically zero. Worst case, you still have a penny. Best case, you have a life-changing windfall. So how do you know if you have one of these valuable coins? Start with the NC basics. Look for sharp, bold doubling in the letters Liberty and In God We Trust. Check the quality of the coin. Collectors pay dramatically more for coins in uncirculated or proof-like condition. And above all, learn the subtle diagnostics that experts use to distinguish a common coin from a record-breaking rarity. One tiny difference can mean the difference between 1 cent and hundreds of thousands of dollars. Here's the cliffhanger, and I'll save the most crucial detail for the very end. There's a specific variety of the 1998 no mint mark cent that almost no casual collector knows about, and it's the one most likely to hit that near $1 million price tag. If you miss it, you might toss away the very coin that could have paid for your dream home, your children's education, or a once-in-a-lifetime trip around the world. This is why urgency matters. The coin market is fast-moving. Prices change. As collectors' tastes shift, as new discoveries are made, and as the pool of available examples shrinks, a coin that's worth $979,000 today might be worth more or less a year from now. The only way to know is to act while the window is open. Now, here's the final piece of the puzzle. The variety that commands the highest value is the 1998 wide AM reverse. Most 1998 cents, the letters A and M in America are touching, or nearly touching. On the rare wide AM variety, there's a clear, distinct space between them. Combine that with uncirculated condition and authentication by a trusted grading service, and you have a coin that collectors will fight over, sometimes all the way into 6 and even 7 figures. That's the one that can change your life. So, here's your call to action. Tonight, grab your jar of change, your old coin albums, that dusty shoebox in the attic. Get yourself a magnifying glass. Look for that wide AM. Because the next 1998 no mint mark Lincoln cent worth almost $1 million is out there, and someone is going to find it. The only question is, will it be you? Imagine reaching into your pocket, pulling out a penny, and realizing it could be worth more than your house, your car, and maybe even your retirement fund combined. Now, what if I told you that a single USA 2000 no mint mark Lincoln 1 cent coin has recently sold for nearly $974,000? Some experts believe the right one could break the $1 million mark. Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to look for, how to find it, why time is running out to cash in. Think back to the year 2000. The new millennium had just begun. Y2K panic fizzled out. The dot-com bubble was still inflating. Millions of shiny Lincoln cents rolled out of the U.S. Mint. They were supposed to be ordinary, but some were not. A small number left the mint missing something crucial, the mint mark. And those rare survivors are now the focus of intense bidding wars among collectors who know what the rest of the world doesn't. The truth is, you have one. You may already be sitting on a fortune. And here's the catch. Many people spend them without a second thought. Let's pause there for a second.
Ow!
How many pennies have you casually handed to a cashier, tossed into a tip jar, or dumped into a coin jar? Hundreds? Thousands? Maybe you've unknowingly given away $1 million payday. Ouch. That stings more than stepping on a Lego barefoot. So why are these no mint mark coins so valuable? In the collecting world, rarity is everything. The 2000 Lincoln cent without a mint mark is a spectacular mint error, a whisper of a flaw that escaped the watchful eyes of the mint's quality control. And error coins are like fingerprints. No two are exactly alike, making them irresistible to collectors who crave the unique. The one that hit $974,000? Flawless condition, rich luster, and a perfect strike, like it was frozen in time. There's a reason bidders went wild. But here's where things get exciting and a little nerve-wracking. These coins aren't sitting in dusty display cases somewhere. They're out there, hiding in plain sight. People find them in change. From a vending machine, tucked away in an old coin jar, or buried in a forgotten box in the attic. It's not just possible you have one. It's possible you've had one before and let it slip away. The thought alone is enough to keep you up at night, isn't it? And here's the twist. This window of opportunity won't stay open forever. Every time one of these coins is discovered, graded, and sold, it becomes part of a finite supply. It means values climb, but the odds of stumbling upon one decrease. In 10 years, the ship may have sailed. And if you think your future self won't be cursing your present self for not checking your coins now, well, you might want to ask anyone who once sold a 1955 doubled die penny for pocket change how they feel about that today. So how do you know if you have the jackpot penny? First, check the date, 2000. Then, just below the date, look for the mint mark, a tiny letter like D or P. If it's missing completely, you could be holding a rarity. But don't get too excited. Yet, condition matters. Even a rare coin loses significant value if it's scratched, worn, or corroded. This is where a professional grading service can turn your maybe into a concrete, market-ready treasure. Imagine for a moment the transformation. You mail off a coin that's been in your junk drawer for years, it comes back certified. And suddenly, you're fielding offers you didn't think possible. It's not just about the money, though, let's be honest. $1 million payday is life-changing. It's about knowing you recognized an opportunity others overlooked. Still with me? Good. Because in a minute, I'm going to tell you the single biggest mistake people make when trying to sell these coins, and how avoiding it could mean the difference between walking away with a small stack of bills or enough to pay off your mortgage and take that dream vacation you've been postponing for decades. But first, here's a quick reality check. Every day, pawn shops and unscrupulous buyers prey on people who don't know the true value of their coins. They'll smile, offer you $100, and send you on your way, only to flip it at auction for 10,000 times that amount. That's why knowledge is power. Knowing the auction history, understanding grading, and finding reputable buyers is the holy trinity of maximizing your payout. The $974,000 sale wasn't luck, it was preparation meeting opportunity. The owner didn't walk into a strip mall coin shop. They went to the right place with the right presentation at the right time. So here's my challenge to you. Tonight, when you get home, grab every coin jar, every purse, every drawer where pennies hide. Turn them over one by one, because while you're watching this, someone else might be finding theirs. And if you wait, that someone else could be selling your $1 million penny to the highest bidder while you're still thinking. I'll get to it later. And if you want to know the exact auction house that's fetching these record prices right now, and the insider trick sellers are using to get top dollar, don't miss the next video, because that's where I'll reveal it. Until then, your future fortune might be closer than you think. The only question is, will you find it before someone else does? Let me take you back to a story that begins not in the hands of a wealthy collector, but in the dusty corners of a kitchen drawer, where a single penny, the kind most people wouldn't even bother to bend down and pick up, quietly sat for years. This wasn't just any penny. It was a 2008 Lincoln 1-cent coin, with no mint mark. To the untrained eye, it looked like it was worth 1 cent. To the trained eye, it was worth the kind of money that changes your life forever. Now, I'm not talking about a couple $100 or even a few thousand. The highest recorded market value for this rare piece of copper history sits at a staggering $968,000, and with demand skyrocketing. Some experts believe the right coin in pristine condition could push beyond the $1 million mark. Imagine holding a coin that could wipe out your mortgage, pay for your dream home, still leave you with enough to live without looking at a price tag ever again. But here's the terrifying truth. Millions of these coins passed through American hands, and almost all of them were spent, dropped, or tossed away. Every single day, people unknowingly give away the kind of fortune that could change generations. And here's where it gets even more gut-wrenching. Once it's gone, it's gone. The value is in the survival, the scarcity. That's why every second you wait to check your pennies is another second someone else could find what should have been yours. So what makes the 2008 no-mint mark Lincoln cent so special? This wasn't a planned rarity. This was a mistake. Minting anomaly, where the identifying mark of the mint was completely absent. And because it's not supposed to exist, collectors crave it like buried treasure. Think of it as the coin world's equivalent of a diamond that formed in space and fell to Earth. But let's pause here. When was the last time you actually looked at a penny? No, I mean really looked at it. If you're like most people, the answer is somewhere between never and are you kidding me? That's exactly why this opportunity exists. The masses ignore pennies, and the wise hunt them. Now I can almost hear the doubt in your mind. Surely mine's not worth that much. But here's the twist. You don't need a flawless, untouched specimen to cash in big. Even coins in circulated condition have sold for tens of thousands of dollars because the demand is so fierce. And if you do happen to have one in mint state, you're not just playing the coin collecting game. You're holding the ace that wins the entire table. Collectors don't just buy these coins. They compete for them. Bidding wars break out in hushed auction rooms and on feverish online marketplaces. I've seen prices jump by tens of thousands in a single afternoon. If you think the market is cooling off, think again. The frenzy for error coins has never been hotter. And here's the kicker. While most investments take years to appreciate, a single discovery like this can flip your net worth in an instant. Picture the moment you walk into a coin dealer. Slide your find across the counter and watch their face. Freeze for just a second too long. That's the moment you know. Your life is about to change. And yet, here's the fear you can't ignore if you haven't checked your change yet. You could be spending your shot at financial freedom every time you grab a coffee. So how do you know if you have the real deal? First, you're looking for the 2008 Lincoln cent with absolutely no mint mark beneath the date. It should be on the front, just under "In God We Trust." If that space is empty and the coin isn't worn beyond recognition, you might be holding something extraordinary. But don't just assume. Verification by a trusted grading service is essential. That's where a 50-cent fine turns into a verified six-figure payday. And here's the part most people overlook. The market for these coins isn't just wealthy collectors, museums, private investors. Even luxury brands buy iconic rarities as tangible assets. They see them as inflation-proof, recession-proof, and frankly, drama-proof compared to the stock market. You're not just selling a coin. You're selling a piece of American history, a story sealed in copper that no one else can replicate. If you've stayed with me this far, you've already feel that mixture of excitement and urgency building. The question now is, because the clock isn't stopping. These coins are disappearing into private collections every single day, never to be seen again in the open market. And before you think it's too late, remember that's exactly what someone thought yesterday. Right before they pulled a $968,000 penny out of an old coffee can in their garage, check your coins. Search every jar, every drawer, every forgotten pocket. Because somewhere one of these pennies is waiting. And if it lands in your hands, your story might just be the next one that coin collectors whisper about for years to come. Now, what would you do first if your penny turned into $1 million overnight?